right. So always be learning. That's kind of important. Technology gives us a bunch of different
always
opportunities.
Be closing.
Always be closing. Well, that's that too. ABC. Or always be selling.
ABL.
No, ABC. Always be selling. It's not how you sell
That would
it.
be ABS.
No, but selling. You have to say it like that.
This was a bad joke.
No.
Anyway, always be learning. I feel like we're always learning,
Yes.
even when we don't realize it, but
No, it's important. So when formal education breaks down and you are at the end of your formal education, an informal education does pop up.
Yep.
And that's what becomes next. And the types of things that you can always do to continue to learn are going to be things like this. So this is a daily real estate talk show that we're here for you guys Monday through Friday, 8:45 a.m. Central Time.
and
Very
you can
consistent.
learn like to go get your new cups.
No, you can learn. Well, what we're trying to do
Lots
is
of
share
things.
topics that are important for you. And some days there's topics that come up that are like breaking news, right? And there's things that we need to work on. And sometimes it's contracts and whatever. But those are always things that are evolving and learning.
Right.
And the formal education stops at some point for everybody, right? And then we move to this informal education on what you're doing. And your career in particular as a real estate agent has a lot of different ways that you can continue to learn. So some of them are
Books,
books,
reading.
okay? No, so yeah. And then like we have all these things with like taking continuing education and picking the ones that are important for you. Some of the better continuing education things that you can take would be like there's some designations that people consider to be premium ones.
Right. Well, yes. And, there's lots and lots of designations, and I think you go with ones that are recognized, maybe, and some that are going to offer a multitude of different topics, such as the GRI.
GRI.
Like GRI is a graduate real estate realtor institution, and it covers, it's a very time-consuming designation to get because you have 4 different topics and they're 4 days each.
Wow.
So it's a lot of days in a row, and then you get this designation. But man, everything that they cover are really, to me, relevant things for our industry. So that's one in particular that I would suggest.
Chat in now and say your name if you do have the GRI designation. We can say, hey, nice job.
Yeah.
Right? So those things are always important is to look at it. And you can be have a very specific form of attack on what type of continuing education you take.
Yep.
You can just like get it done. So I happen to be the type of guy that's like, let me get it done as fast as I can. I'm not really worried about the topic. I just want to like get it done and check it off because that's not really my source of education for real estate. I feel I personally learn different. So you have to do kind of what works best for you, right? So some of the things that I saw over the weekend, maybe it was last weekend, that you were utilizing is you were continuing to learn on things like how to switch the HVAC from air conditioner to heater when I was away, right?
Yep.
And you found that on YouTube, and then you were able to figure that out. And that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Right? So you're always learning there, and you have the opportunity to be pressed with a problem and then to solve it on your own and be a self-learner. So self-learners are important. We also see that same type of thing if you run across a contract and you don't know exactly what to do or you're looking for some solutions there. Maybe you ask for another contract to be sent over or shared with you from Stacy on a similar buyer or seller in one of those different things.
Yep.
And you could look at it, right? So you can ask for all those different assistants and some things get sent over to you and like you can learn it. So you're eventually going to have a buyer, you're going to have a seller, you're going to have each of these different things that go on. You can see how they're filled out. You can ask, you can look into it. Like, why did this happen here, right? And if you spend a little bit of time studying what happened in the past on something, then you'll kind of know it when the future comes around and it becomes your moment for that.
Yeah. I always, encourage if you're new to the business to, do a dummy contract. So, sign your husband up to buy a house and go through the process and, or your kids or a friend, but go through that. So when you do have, when you do have a deal that you're not like panicked, what do I do? You know, how do I fill this out? You know, be prepared. I think is important.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of addendas, and then sometimes you don't have like the password to get logged in and all those things, right? So you're kind of creating a pathway
So that's learning.
and ensuring
that's
that
not
you
just,
learned and it's being prepared and learning, but learning how to log in and what are the assets and like what are the steps that you have to do, right? Those are all types of learnings. And in the beginning, you did a bunch of different learning with other brokers because at the time, the internet like wasn't a thing. It was really weird. So out there, we are so old that the so when the dinosaurs took us to school,
yeah, there was no internet.
no, it really wasn't a thing. And like, I don't even know if Google was a thing. Like,
No.
Ask Jeeves was probably Ask Jeeves.
You were always, and I'm like,
I was always
this is
asking
weird to me.
Jeeves.
Yeah,
So
I just asked you.
chat in if you have asked Jeeves any questions recently.
Is Jeeves still around, or Jeeves might have
I have no
passed on to the
idea.
other side?
I have no idea what happened with that gentleman in particular.
Mr. Jeeves.
But so you couldn't ask a lot of questions to the internet before, right? There wasn't that repository of knowledge. So we had things like encyclopedias, and those were published, and then the set that I had was like 35 years outdated.
Do they still have those?
I'm sure. I think it's
Still?
called Wikipedia now. They like moved it to the internet and it
fake.
became crowdsourced. And anyways, but talk about how you used to take classes with other brokers and why.
Well, I would reach out and find out because we were independent. I needed to kind of understand what all these why are there so many brokers out there and what do they offer, and, you know, just trying to learn. So would find out who the head broker for, you know, a particular company was in our area, and I'd reach out to them and ask if there's any learning opportunities. And you'll find, you know, and I did that for, you know, the big companies, Remax and Keller and Ebby and different people. And it really helped me to understand like the business and then how they were different. So, you know, I took some things, I thought, you know, that's kind of our style and how we feel about certain ways to do the business. And then there were things that kind of didn't like resonate with me and didn't seem like something that would be our style. So we kind of took all of that and, you know, put it into our own way of doing things and our beliefs. And, you know, and that's kind of how we started.
And we've definitely passed it on as well. So we talked about how you can attend places with other people. We also have that same collaborative learning environment here with us as well on TNT each morning. So you, this is now live on YouTube, and so other people can subscribe. If you have friends that are at other brokerages and you think like, hey, you could use a little bit more education, right? So maybe you're working with an agent that you think on the other side is you're like, maybe it would be nice if that person had a little bit more training. Then you can offer them free training every Monday through Friday at 9:45 a.m. Central Time, and they could just follow the channel, and they'll get that every single day. If you think that's helpful, totally send anyone over. We're always looking to help and be more collaborative and continue to help people to learn. And then there's all the new school things that have came in that you can absolutely do with the web, with YouTube, with books, with TNT, with other brokerages, with training, with certificates. There's all types of continuing education that you can always do to continue to learn and to get better. And you can always ask another person that's currently working.
Yeah.
You can talk with us. Like there's all those things that go on each.
I think you know, you have to always be learning, like you said, and, you know, understanding the new trends. Our business changes fast, right? It's always changing. And so you have to be on top of it and know what's going on everywhere. And I think you know, I love that our agents feel comfortable to come to us and say, hey, I heard this, you know, and, you know, they might just give us like a little tidbit of information and we'll research it and learn about it and see if it's something relevant that we should share. So I love that they do that.
Perfect. Thank you guys very much. Let's go ahead and hit the bell.